Hey, I'm Dillon, and welcome to the FatherHOOD podcast. We're having conversations with men who were once trapped in dysfunction, but are now breaking the cycle and building the family unit that they never had. It's our hope that they encourage you to do the same. Today, my guest is Corey Davis. Corey had what he describes as a blue moon dad, because that's when he would see his dad. His dad wasn't in the house. His story is all over the place, up, down, in between, some wins, but a lot of losses. Corey ended up joining a gang. He dropped out of high school. He pursued his professional music career, but it landed him in a place where he matured, and now he's an amazing dad. Even as a professional, he serves in a role where he functions as a father figure to hundreds of kids and youth. On this episode, you'll see Corey have a chance to sit back and just take in the impact that he's had on so many. And it really takes him to a place where he's overwhelmed to a point of tears. I can't wait for you to see this episode. I believe it's going to be a blessing to you.
I think Albany, Georgia was considered the murder capital. You got gang violence, you got drug dealing.
Breaking cycles and building families, man. That's what it's all about.
My mama, man.
Yeah.
I don't want this same outcome for the kids that I got to raise.
Yeah. Super fantastic mom.
Absolutely.
But there's no way you could have been the dad because you've never been one. Mr. Corey Davis.
Yes, sir.
Welcome
yes,
to
sir.
the podcast, man.
Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. It's great to have you on, man. I'm excited about you sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit, give us a little bit of insight.
Right.
I know you've seen a lot, done a lot.
Yes, sir.
Ups, downs, in betweens. And so, we won't be able to get it all, but we're going to get enough if we're going to encourage some folks, man. So, tell us about who is Corey Davis, man.
Okay. Corey Davis is originally from Albany, Georgia. Born and raised, spent most of my life there. Kind of in and out of trouble, chose to go down the wrong path a little bit.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah. Mom and dad tried, they did what they can, but, after a while, you become an adult and you realize that you got to make some decisions for yourself.
Yes, sir.
You have kids and you realize, you know what, I do have a future in front of me and I don't have to go down the path that I've seen others take that I think was correct, or just follow whatever the world feel like family tradition should be.
Yeah.
And just did something different with my life, and proud to be here, a child of God, and happy to be alive and doing what I do right now, trying to help other young kids get out of trouble.
That's why you're here, man.
That's why I appreciate it.
Yeah, all of that right there, man. It's essentially what this podcast is about. You know what I mean? Breaking cycles and building families, man. That's what it's all about. Let's rewind back.
Yes, sir.
And so we see you sitting here clean, and you're not even, for our viewing audience, like he kind of downplaying it. Every time I see him, man, he's clean. He don't even have his jacket on, but he's gonna coordinate from the socks to the tie clips. That's who he is.
Right.
And so if you look at him, just upon appearance, you think, oh man, he's always had it together. Everything was perfect.
Right.
That come from a perfect background, that type of thing. But looks can be deceiving.
Very much so.
So let's get past some of those layers, man. Let's get past, what we can see. Talk to us about this upbringing and that family household. What that look like?
Growing up in Albany, Georgia, we grew up in the projects, and at that time, I think Albany, Georgia was considered the murder capital.
Oh, wow.
And a very small city.
Yeah.
And just the surrounding was different. You got gang violence, you got drug dealers, you got all these type of things going on. And as a young kid, you see those type of things, and immediately you want to be a part of that, because if you're not seeing nothing else besides what's on TV, or if your family don't have the funds to put you in a position to go see different people doing big things, you're going to indirectly want to follow exactly what you're seeing every day in your vision. So I think that was the mistake I made, and, just in and out of trouble, having certain issues in school with behavior. At an early age, joined the gang.
Wow.
For no reason. I tell anybody that young, there's no reason to join.
Yeah.
Everything that you think you need a gang to help you do, you can do on your own.
Wow.
Trust and believe that. So just made those type of crazy decisions, hanging out with the wrong friends, and just trying to do things like everybody else, being a follower, not knowing that I'm a leader myself. And once I realized that, you know what, I'm a leader myself, I started doing things different. Got a little older, you got into that teen area, now you're in high school. So you're going to school, you're playing sports, and decided to drop out of high school.
Wow.
Me and my friends that grew up on the west side with each other, Field Mob, that's a rap group out of Albany, Georgia, that's been nominated for a Grammy. Sean J, Smoke. One of our managers was Grouchy, and I participated in the manager role as well with them. We had the opportunity to, you know, kind of walk away from education and go after our careers. We want to be famous and do rap and do music and travel the world. And we had that opportunity, but we made a lot of mistakes along the way. And that's why it's so important to have mentors in your life.
Yeah.
It's so important to have mentors in your life when it comes to learning about finances, who to hang with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who to have the right conversations with. Not only that, we also fall short on who to date.
Yeah.
And a lot of our issues came from making poor choices. We're not bad kids.
Yeah.
We just made poor choices from not having mentors in our life. So, you know, going to jail for a minute, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Hold on, man. Hold on. He landed on this, man. Listen.
Be in that situation right now.
Yeah. Man, you've been through a lot, seen a lot.
Yeah, identifying some things that, you know what, this ain't me. This ain't my past.
Yeah.
My mama didn't raise me like that. She didn't drag me to church every Sunday and Tuesday night
for this.
To embarrass her last name. You know what I mean? A last name that I got to carry. So I decided for myself I got to do something different. And back maybe 2000 and I would say 10, 11, 12, one of my best friends that I'm very, very close with was murdered. You know what I mean? And took us a while to find the body and, you know, to figure out exactly what happened. Won't go into detail with that, but that really made me think a lot different about life because this is somebody that I'm peas in the pod with every single day.
Right.
Did things with, got away with doing things that we shouldn't have done, and that changed.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something different because I knew right then, you know, this does not have to be our story.
Yeah.
At that time, I had already had my oldest son, which right now is 22. He's a police officer in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, okay.
And I knew then for myself, you know, I got to show him a better route.
Yeah.
The way that I'm doing things right now is not going to work. So at that time, I started kind of working in the community, talking to young kids about doing things different. Try this, try that. And at this time, I'm still experiencing as well because I got 1 foot in trying to help kids.
Yeah, you in transition, man.
1 foot in the street, still running a club, an event center. At the time, my wife had a salon, so I'm playing both sides of things. And then I got the opportunity to come to Job Corps and speak to some students about some different things. And from there, I fell in love with Job Corps, and I've been doing it for 16 years.
Don't take us to Job Corps yet, man. Don't take us to Job Corps yet. So you said quite a bit, man.
Right.
And I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm listening kind of what you're not saying too.
Right.
You know, you talked about not having the mentors in place. You know, you said I didn't want to do my mom's last name an injustice.
Yes.
You know, these types of things. So, but what you didn't say is my dad. What you didn't say is my father, and this is fatherhood. So I've got to ask, man, where was dad in this upbringing, and you're joining this gang and you're making these decisions and you're trying to figure it out? What was dad in the picture of this?
I would like to consider that as dad as being the blue moon. You know, every time we talk about every night and then the blue moon. I'll say the blue moon. I knew who my dad was, but he wasn't involved in my life. I know previous, maybe some circumstance with him and my mom situation. So he wasn't there, you know, several times, you know, trying to reach out to build those type of relationships. And at a point, you just get to a level where it's like, you know what, let me just try this on my own. My mom remarried. I do have a stepfather that did step in and help out and,
awesome, man.
You know, redirect some things indirectly. And he did what he can do as well. But, you know, what kid don't want that genuine original father to be a part of their life? So I knew for myself then, because he didn't show me what I needed to know as a father. You know what, Corey, you're going to have to take this upon yourself and figure this out.
So did you, how old were you when you came to that realization, when you kind of were like, man, forget this, I'm just going to,
I started
he ain't going to do
early.
it, it is what it is.
I could tell you the truth. By the age of 13, I had came to a conclusion of like, you know what, stop asking mom why. What did I do wrong or what happened? Stop. Take responsibility early, and that's what I did. And I just decided, you know what I'm saying, even though I still got to live my life, I don't want this same outcome for the kids that I got to raise.
Yeah.
There should never be a question of why you're not here or when I need to talk to you, you're not available. You should never have to ask those questions when you know, a child should never have to go through that when they need their father in their life. Now, like I said, anybody can be a dad.
Yeah.
That's easy. Anybody can pick up that role. Yeah. They got somewhere to stay. She got food in the house. I could be your dad for about a week or two or a couple months. Everybody I don't play that role before. I'll be your dad for a minute.
He said for a minute.
Yeah. But your father, that's a lifetime.
Right.
And that's a role that never stops.
Yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying?
I got you.
You 50 years old, you still should be able to call your father if you're in need of knowledge.
Yeah.
And they should be able to help you out. So I just want to make sure that the other young men in this world know that you don't have to follow what you seen your father did. If you feel like it wasn't what you needed, you can always do better. Attach yourself to a mentor. Also, read some books. Yeah. Read some books, and you got to give your time to God because that's your first father. Mm-hmm. He'll direct you the way you need to go. That's and good. Listen to your mom as well. Yeah. And like I tell a lot of my students that I deal with now, it is hard for mom to put on a skirt and jeans. At some level, as a young man, you're going to have to step up and you're going to have to figure it out yourself. Yeah. Because you'll stress your mama out with trying to raise you as a young man. That is very hard.
Yeah, that's
so
a different
fathers
thing.
Are very, very important in their kids' life.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, you get around Father's Day, and then, you know, in our community, you see a lot of single moms. Right. There's like, I was the mama and the daddy. You know, I'm like, well, not exactly. You are amazing, super fantastic mom.
Absolutely.
But there's no way you could have been the dad because you've never been one. You've never been a man. And there's some things that you just haven't experienced that you can't advise me on, maybe in principle, but not specifics because you just haven't been that, had those feelings, know what comes with that, and, you know, just things that you face just in this world. Right. And I guess, you know, in your timeline, when you look back, was you joining the gang around that time with that 13?
That 13,
where you just said, I'm going to quit asking, I'm going to go over here. And I'm asking that because I believe personally, and you maybe can speak more to this, that a lot of times, even though we say, okay, I'm done with this, we still have that thirst and that hunger for a father. And so we try to find it in the OG, in the gang. You know, we try to find it over here. Maybe it's the warden, you know what I mean? Maybe it's the drill sergeant or whoever in the military or whatever it is, but you're still looking for that person or that figure to fill that space. Was that the case for you?
That was the case because you didn't know what it felt like because you never experienced. Yeah. So when an OG take you up under his wing and tell you, this is what you're going to do, this is what this look like, I can just give you this short story. Growing up in the project, it was a guy, OG, you know, sold drugs or whatever the case may be. And I thought he was one of the richest men in the world because when I seen him, he always had a wad of money. Yeah. The wad of money was dollars. Yeah. But to me, that was a lot. I just wanted the wad of money.
It was more than you
every
knew.
time I seen him, I got dollars.
Yeah.
And then I attached myself to him to understand, okay, this is how he made money. Yeah, he sold drugs, but guess what? He sold candy to the kids. He came around and sold ice cream.
All around hustler.
Hustler. So that put that in my mind. Yeah. You got to hustle as well.
Yeah, man. I get it. I understand it. You know, and many men that I talk to who came up in similar circumstances, you know, that type of thing, it's almost like, you know, you put together this father. You're like, okay, I like his hustle. I like he know how to get money. All right, him over here. Right. I like the way he dressed. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. he good with the ladies or whatever. So you piecing together, you trying to create this little in your mind. You taking this one from this one.
Right.
I tell this little story about learning how to put on cologne, man. So you put it on your little pressure points or whatever.
Right.
Say, hit your wrist, hit your neck. Boom. I got that. Somebody else told me, well, you're a little tall, so make sure you hit around your waist. Boom. Somebody else told me, well, you need them to smell you when they come from behind you, so you hit one right there. By the time I listen to everybody, I got about 25 squirts.
Oh, telling you, man.
Hey, man, I got cologne coming from everywhere. You know what I mean? So if you take that and you're taking life advice, man, you can be all over the place. You know what I mean? But it's your way of trying to compensate for what we feel like we didn't have. And so in your case, it's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the game. These gonna be my brothers, OG, kind of the father figure, and it has that family kind of structure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah. And then I've known guys who were in similar situations with the gangs, and they're like, it's nothing like being around people who will give it all for you, and you'll give it all for them. It's just a different type of bond,
right?
And but at the end of the day, it comes to nothing.
And what kind of helped me as well was having an OG that's in the game that said, you know what, man, you don't need to be doing this.
Yeah.
Man, your mama, good mama. Everybody know your mama. Everybody know you. Why?
Yeah.
And I couldn't give them an answer on why.
Right.
And they couldn't say because lost a father not being in the house, because I never had that feeling, so I don't know what it felt like to say I lost that.
Right.
Because I never felt that. I was just searching for something different.
Yeah.
So, when you have them OGs, big up to the OGs who make the kids go to school. Why are you out of class?
Yeah.
Why are you walking around the neighborhood at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? You need to be in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very important.
Yeah, and you're saying something so important, that our voices and that father figure, OG, big bro, whatever you want to call it, that voice can lead you in one direction or the other.
Yeah.
So that's a valuable thing. That's a valuable thing to have that voice. The voice of a father or a father figure is valuable. And I know, like I know, man, there's kids that I'm around in school system, that type of thing. Man, I'm like the voice that they know. It's from a father standpoint. And so I don't take that lightly, man. You talked about mom and grandma putting money on your books and all that. Man, how'd you end up locked up, man? What happened? You bobbed when you should have weaved.
Yeah, doing the wrong thing, hanging with the wrong crew real quick, just for a night out on the town to have fun, and we got into some stuff we shouldn't have got into. And next thing police are pulling up guns, get out the car, guns, and yada this, yada that, and at the end, everybody made it out safe. I did have one homeboy that decided to say, you know what, I'll take all the charges, and that kind of put everybody in the clear, and that's my best friend that I did lose.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So he did do that for us, and I'm doing him just as well with helping him raise his daughter that's now in the military.
Wow.
So yeah.
I love that, man.
Oh yeah.
I love that. Man, you dropping a lot of gems, man. And I just want to make sure our viewers are hearing what you're saying. So, you go from my dad's not there to now, your course is taking you to a place where you've matured and developed, and now am I only taking care of my children? My best friend who's deceased, I'm making sure his daughter is all right. I'm being a father all the way around, and then not to mention just your career path. Yeah. And before we get to your career path, before you became who you are now, you tried the music industry out.
Yeah, the mighty Field Mob.
Yeah. So now, how'd you get connected with Field Mob, man?
Well, my parents, we moved from the projects and we moved to the west side, and Smoke stayed 2 houses down from me. Sean J stayed about a block behind us down the road, and we all just grew up playing basketball, played football with each other, and they had the talent of rap. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. We on the mailbox, beating on the mailbox, rapping, writing songs, doing things like this, and then we were discovered by a record label out of L.A., and it pretty much went from there. I left Albany, Georgia on a Greyhound with $30 in my pocket to come to Atlanta.
Wow.
And, I got put into this manager role. I'm young. I'm dropped out of high school, but just the hustle mentality made me understand business. hey, you got to sit down and read this contract. If this don't make sense, talk to the head managers. How can we get this taken care of? Hey, now we booking shows. Understand how this money go between folks booking you for a show, making sure the travel is there, making sure everybody get there safe, making sure all the rooms are good, making sure the sound checks are done, make sure we there on time. It was a lot. That was a journey of, is this for me or is this for them? You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I realized that, you know what? This is for them. I assisted in that. But guess what? God has something for you as well.
Wow.
And it may not be that.
Yeah.
And as I decided to venture off and what I believe is right, because, you know, you come to a point when you write songs about, I'm going to beat you up, I'm a kid, come get these drugs. Me personally, I was like, do I really want to keep telling kids this?
Wow. Yeah.
I just seen how that ends up.
Yeah.
I think I need to give a different message.
Yeah.
So I kind of started doing things different and just started reading a little more and researching more about, you know, who I am as a person and what I can offer the world.
Yeah.
And then we kind of, you know, went our separate ways and did our own things. They're still out trying to do their music thing, wishing them the best, hopefully get to the next level. But that was that time, and like I said, I had that opportunity to be a part of Job Corps, and I've been doing that ever since.
Yeah, been doing it ever since, man.
Yes, sir.
That's good stuff. So tell us about that, man, that Job Corps thing, because now, you know, you're in another fathering role. And I'm listening to you, man, just your process and how you were being developed,
Right.
you know, because even in the role you're in now, it's one thing to have book knowledge. It's one thing to know in theory
Right.
how to manage, you know, kids or youth, you know, especially a certain demographic. You know, it's another thing. You've been there.
Right.
And I can look in your eye and tell you from firsthand experience, hey, I know where that role is going to end.
Absolutely.
Hey, I know what you're thinking before you even do it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
that type of thing. So what was that like, man, coming into that system, that environment?
Coming into Job Corps, I was familiar, and I can relate to a lot of the kids, especially the majority of them look just like me.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where they were coming from. I knew the gangs that they was a part. I even helped some of them walk away from the gang life. And it was a new experience because I had to shed a lot of old ways to get through them, because I can't be telling them X, Y, Z, and I'm still doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And so now I know they're looking at me. So I got to model, monitor, and mentor.
I love it.
All the time.
Yeah.
So when I realized...
Model, monitor, and mentor. I love
the
that,
three
man.
M's. Once I realized that I got to do those all the time,
Yeah.
things start changing for me as well. Becoming a father figure to these young men, they helped me come into that purpose. Because it was like, we need you. We need to hear these words from you. We need this guidance from you. Our father didn't tell us this.
Yeah.
They made us think it was okay to do this. Yeah. Our mamas wasn't there either. So here you every day explain these situations, telling us about your life, things that you've been in, things that you've been through, and how you can help us get to that next level. That's what we've been in search for as young men. And I've been able to give that to them. So being a part of Job Corps, started in Albany, Georgia, did well there. They took me from Albany, Georgia to move me to Texas.
Wow.
Did well in Texas about 5 years. They took me from Texas. Hey, we need you in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
So I moved to Washington, D.C., did well in Washington, D.C. COVID kind of hit, kind of relaxed about 6 to 8 months to get past that, tried and say, hey, you know what? We need you in Gadsden, Alabama.
Yeah.
So I'm in Alabama right now.
Yeah.
And I can tell anybody, most people that handle the role that I have, up to 260 kids, I've dealt with over 500 to 1,000 at one time on the center, managing about 100 and something employees. You know, the average person, you know, feel as if you got to have a bachelor's or you got to have a master's or a doctorate. That's what the world wants you to have. But I stand before you, still in college, working on my bachelor's degree.
Wow.
And being blessed to be able to go to these different states and work with these youth and change their life because of my heart and because I can relate and I try to be genuine with them. Yeah. Something that a degree can't give you.
That's right. I get
you know
that.
What I mean?
Yeah,
it can't give you that.
Yeah. You know, those students, man, they know.
Yeah, they know.
They know when you just kind of there because it's a job.
Yeah.
They know when you're there because, you know, you want some some press.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just for an event, so you can take some good photo ops.
Yeah,
and they know who with them. They know who's going to be with them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the more you prove that, man, they'll listen. They may make their mistakes, but your voice is going to carry a different weight with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk to me about you being in the Job Corps Center at your hometown. Right. That's your first stop.
Yeah.
And they like, man, I know that ain't old knucklehead Corey. He trying to.
Man, it was a hard transition because
they knew you.
Yeah, it was hard, but like you said, real recognized real, and the real friends understood. You know what? Mm-hmm. He got a child, he got a raise too.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happened out here in the street, these guys always had a good heart and always help people out.
Mm-hmm.
So that outweighed any mistakes, anything of the past. So the people who really care about you, they're going to respect whatever good decisions you make that's better for you and your family.
Yeah.
And the ones who don't, they'll move away.
Yeah.
They'll get out your life.
Talk to us about, man, just your process as a father. You know, I know you're doing Job Corps, and that's a father role. But talk to us about your household, your fathering your children, man. What is that like? And talk to us a little bit about that process.
Well, you know, I started out with 2 boys, so I'm tough.
Yeah.
We always a little tough on the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They think we tough on the female, but we really tough on the boys.
Yeah.
So my oldest son,
so they gonna have to get out here and figure it out one day. And you want to make sure they ready, man.
You ain't gonna be calling me every week for no money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can work. My daughter different.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah. So my oldest son, I had my first child when I was in high school. So imagine that.
Yeah. Wow.
Being in high school trying to raise a child and you still a child.
Yeah.
So I had to figure that out early. At that time I wasn't married. Just being young, having fun.
Yeah.
But that co-parenting worked out well, and being involved in his life, making sure he had what he needed to have, and continue to coach him up to be a better person, to understand that you don't have to be like these type of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not fortunate to put their child in private school.
Mm-hmm.
We're not.
Yeah.
But at home, we can give the same teaching.
Oh, yeah.
At home, we can give the same one-on-one love.
Yeah.
We can do that from a home standpoint.
Yeah.
And I think either at his mom's house or my house or grandmama's house, that's what you got.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Raised him up the way he needed to be. He completed college. Now he's a police officer in Atlanta. He's doing well for himself, looking to go into getting his master's and everything like that. So just being there. Also, my youngest son wasn't married to his mom either. So I was out there.
Yeah.
I could just be real with y'all.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Right.
Yeah. Keep it all the way 100.
Yeah, he's 15 years old, straight A student, play all sports. That co-parenting situation is well as well. Me and his mom stay on top of him.
Yeah.
Do a lot of AAU traveling, basketball. So being involved in your kids' sports life, PTOs at the school and different things like that makes a real big difference as a father when they seeing you pop up and you'll be a part of everything. I want to see your grades. Mm-hmm. If this grade ain't right, you can't do this.
Oh, yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Consequences, baby.
Yeah. You know, even though we're not in the same house, I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
I'm involved in every decision that's made, to a point where, Dad, what you think about these shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Dad, what you think about this? I'm involved. Oh, this the little girl you date? We need to come down to meet her mom and her dad to see what's going on.
Right.
Because I need to know who you dating.
Yeah.
You may be dating a nice, pretty young girl, but the parents may be doing something different.
Right.
Then I got to make sure when you go visit over there, they feel the same way about my rules that I feel about them. I don't want them in no room alone.
Right.
And my daughter is 5, and me and my wife together, we're raising her together. We're together, and she right now, she just the queen. She get whatever she wants.
Man, I already know.
Yeah,
the baby, the girl.
Whatever she wants.
Yeah, I know how that go.
So it takes all of us, and I'm grateful to have a wife that also take on my kids like she birthed them as well going on.
Yeah, that's good, man. I love to hear that because, you know, you have different family dynamics.
Yes.
And a lot of times you hear about the struggle and the challenges, and in a lot of those situations, the father just kind of quit.
Easy to do it.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. It's easy to walk away from it.
Yeah.
It's easy to just send money every month.
Yeah.
And not have to deal with being the father part.
Yeah.
That's the dad part that I was talking about,
Yeah.
man. And I wish that, you know, that cycle will stop. But that's why we're here on this podcast.
That's why we're here.
Put this information out there.
Absolutely.
We can be a part of stopping that cycle. We can be those curse breakers.
Absolutely.
In our community.
Well, Corey, you know, I feel like I got to call you Mr. Davis because you're too clean.
Hey,
You're tired, you know
whatever
what I mean?
word for
Whatever word. Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you being with us. And phenomenal story, man, just about your life and not only how your life was impacted by, but how you've impacted not only your natural children, but then the children who, man, you father, you know, at the Job Corps. Right. You know, man, I want to congratulate you for being an amazing dad.
Appreciate it, man.
Then I want to remind you, man, that you are impacting so many lives. And so what we want to do, man, is just we want you to check this out. This is just a little something from some of the people who you are impacting as a father.
Okay, now.
I have not always been like a positive thinker, and you definitely have changed my way of thinking by, you know, just making me understand that there's ways that we can look at situations differently and to try to make a negative situation into something positive, like trying to find the positive in everything that happened, no matter what the circumstance is.
You did a good job. I love you.
My Uncle Corey has impact on my life by helping me cope through my father's death, which was on my birthday a couple years ago, and I really do appreciate him.
My Uncle,
Juicy baby.
Uncle Corey has impacted me because he's been in my life ever since, because my daddy hasn't been in my life.
And I just want to start off by saying I love you. You're very well appreciated, and none of your work goes unnoticed.
He shows his heart for staff and students on a daily basis. He goes above and beyond for our students and our staff.
You've impacted my life greatly, as you always push me to go hard 24/7, on the court, off the court, in the gym, or in school. And when I get older, I strive to be the man you are and 10 times better.
My uncle been my mentor for so many years. He was the first person I chose to be my best man at my wedding. He's the best man I can ever think of. He's the best person I could ever have in my life.
I thank God for you.
No.
You really have impacted my life a long ways. And I really appreciate you. You keep on doing what you're doing. You know, you said the greatest he on the inside. He's on the inside of you, boy. Keep on rocking it. Y'all keep on going, because there's greater things ahead. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.
My
Man.
mama, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad, man. As y'all can see how important moms are in your life when your dad is not there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to even ask, you know.
Sorry about that, man.
Oh, you're good, man. There's no need to apologize. I'm over here trying to hold it together just so I can imagine, you know, you knowing the ins and outs, ups and downs, trials, tribulations, wins, losses. I can imagine where that takes you emotionally, but
this will go down one of the best days of my life. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Will go down. I appreciate y'all for being a part of this. I really do. I really do appreciate y'all for being a part of it, because, you know, our family dynamic is good, but, you know, we don't use the term "I love you" a lot. I heard it throughout this whole
they was
entire
letting it fly on the video.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, that means so much to me, man. Y'all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Well, man, we appreciate you, and appreciate you being transparent and vulnerable, and allowing us to be a part of what you described as one of the best days of your life. You know, and I really do believe that's going to translate even for our viewing audience, and to see the authenticity of what you shared. And we believe, man, lives are absolutely going to be changed because of this podcast today. So thank you again for being with us today. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. Yes, yes. Much love.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Much love.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
yes, yes. Thank y'all. I'm still a bee now. Don't let these tears for it. Lil Wayne said, even though a wolf cry, you still see that wolf teeth. But I appreciate it.